What up, guys? Jason Guyman here with King of Pressure Wash, and tonight we're going to talk all about Christmas lights. We're going to talk about clips, the different types of clips we have here. We're going to talk about bulbs, the different types of bulbs we have here, and we're just going to go over a little bit of everything on how Christmas lights are, what you need to do to be able to start your Christmas light business, how to do Christmas lights for your house, whether you're going to do it for yourself or you want to help, start a business. And that is what we're going to talk about. Everything Christmas lights, of how to do your males and females, how to do all of these awesome things with Christmas lights, because we all know that Christmas lights, yes, it seems like it's a long way away, but in reality, this is the time that you need to start learning about how to start your Christmas light business so that you can be successful, right? Because the last thing you want to do is not be successful because you waited too long to do the things that you need to do to get your Christmas lights started and growing. And so that is what we're going to hit on tonight. That is my goal for you all, to learn how to do that. So on my side of things, I just came back from Utah this past weekend, and we did a whole bunch of permanent lighting. And permanent lighting is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, to be honest. It makes the house look amazing. I love Visalite permanent lighting. It's one that you can't even hardly see it in the daytime. You just see the pucks hanging down because it's all the metal. It makes it look professional. It makes it look very clean. It's the same color. Like, we actually can get 50 different colors of the aluminum, and it's actually aluminum. It's not plastic, and we can get all of the colors of whatever color that it is, right? And it's that way. It's pretty cool of how the permanent lighting works. And so that is definitely what I learned a lot this weekend when I was out in Utah with Dustin and his group, and it was neat to see how basically it works, right? And how you can make money doing permanent lights. And so permanent lights is definitely a big thing out there. I think it's more and more coming, and I know a lot of you Christmas light guys are like, I ain't no way I'm going to do permanent lights, right? It's definitely going to do whatever. And so it is one of those things that as you are growing your business, you either adopt or you keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully you can get where you need to be at. But permanent lighting, I think, is coming more and more. Do I think Christmas lights is going away? I don't, right? Because, Christmas lights is definitely a luxury, but so is permanent lighting. And the thing about permanent lighting, we all know it's going to change. It's going to, and look at the technology 5 years ago to now. The technology in permanent lighting is going to be even better in 5 years down the road. So those are some things that we can think about of what we need to do for this. So we got some people in here. Christmas lights are right around the corner. Twinkle, twinkle. 2024 is going to be a big year. I do believe that is true, 100%. Christmas lights is one of those things that never goes down with the economy, or very little. Like, I know someone that has done Christmas lights for 25, 30 years, and he's never had a year that he made less than he did the year before. He's always made more year after year. And yes, that's 2000. Yes, that's 2020 or 2007, 2008. So it's definitely something that people love their Christmas lights, and that is why we love Christmas lights, right? Because Christmas lights are fun. It is one of the most fun things that I've ever done as a business. There's no better thing of seeing someone come out just happy as all get outs to give you $2,000-$3,000. And so that is definitely something that, as you look and as you watch and as you start your Christmas light business, it is definitely a lot of fun to do Christmas lights. So let's start off with our bulbs, right? We have a couple different bulbs here. And so first off, you have, I don't have an incandescent bulb, but the old bulbs that looked like this that had a filament in it was an incandescent bulb. So you had incandescent bulbs and LED bulbs. LED bulbs came out around when they really started coming out is right when I started. So the year I started or the year before was right when they really started taking off in 2014. 15 area, 2013. And so the difference between incandescent bulbs and permanent or LED bulbs, which LED stands for light emitting diode, right? So it's just a diode. If you think about this as in water, a diode allows water to flow one way but not the other way. So when I talk about something coming up here shortly about do we need to make sure that our wire is on the same side? When I first started in LED, you did have to make sure because otherwise it would not work because it's a light emitting diode and a diode only flows one way. And so in 2024 now, they've got a thing in here where it makes it go the right way so it doesn't matter which way you post it. So in the beginning, it was incandescent lights. Incandescent lights, you had to be very smart how to run incandescent lights. LEDs is like brainless, but incandescence was very hard to run. This house here, we would have had to find 2 to 3 plugs just to run this little bit right here off of different circuits. 130 of these, 125, 130 of these was 10 amps. 10 amps out of just 120, 130 of these here of the incandescent. And I know this isn't an incandescent, but it kind of looks like one more than this one. And that's why I'm just showing you that this is, that's kind of what it is. So incandescents, it went for a long time. They were cheap. They were super cheap. You could buy them for 20, 30 cents a piece, and they were super, super duper cheap. But if you dropped them, they exploded on you and broke everywhere. And then we came to LEDs. LEDs, these are LEDs. We got all different colors here. We got the red ones. We got the clear ones. We got the facet. You can do the smooth. There's all different kinds of LEDs that we can do for LED side of things. And this is some things that you can do. There's all different kinds of brands out there. This is a Million one. I don't remember who this one is, but it's a little bit different. The Million ones have the plastic on the bottom of it and no lead there. These have the lead. This is the old days. California has kind of started banning some of these here, so they got to go to this. And so those are some things that as we do this, these are some bulbs that we have here. So I'm just showing you different bulbs. These are 2 different ones. You can see one's yellow, one's white. So they are different. They can be different colors. They can be different manufacturers. Some manufacturers, they're all come from a lot of the same factories, but that is kind of what we deal with there. The next thing that we deal with is clips. So basically the bulb goes on here, and then you have a clip, and then the socket wire, right? These are the 3 basic components of a bulb and this here. So you have a bulb, you have a clip, and then you have the socket wire. And this socket wire, I've kind of got it all nice and tangled up here. But this is our socket wire. And so basically we can screw this on. This will sit on the gutter. It'll just slide right over the gutter. It'll pop down on there, and then it'll be sitting there pointing out on the gutters. We can also do this and slide them underneath the shingle. If you look at on this house right here, they're pointing up, so they slide underneath the shingle. They just slide underneath the shingle, and now they're all pointing up, and that's how we're able to point all of these lights up, and all of these lights are pointing out. Now, there is some people that don't like the clip that points them that way. One reason why a lot of people do these clips or any of these enclosed clips is because I can pre-bulb it and pre-clip it before I ever go to the job. So I can sit at my house at night, me and my wife can sit there and bulb and clip. You and whoever can sit there and bulb and clip. You can pay someone $50 a garbage can. Normally we put them in a big garbage can, and so you can pay them $50 for a garbage can. It takes them 2 hours, 3 hours, and they bulb and clip them. So when you show up on the job, you're not taking that hour to bulb and clip, you're just putting them up there. So when I used to teach, it was the all-in-one clip. And the all-in-one clip, I don't have any here with me, but it looked like this, but it just had two things that come up and the bulb just clipped into it, and that's how the all-in-one clip was. And when you would take them down, they'd go flying out in the air, and they'd go in the snow, and you can't find them. So that was the problem with that. With these here, these work really good. You can just put them on there and then tie them on there. You can use the tough clip. This is the tough clip right here that you can just sit there and screw this in there, and now we got it in there on our tough clip, and this is how we're able to screw the bulb. And then we just do the next one in here. Some of these tough clips, this one here, these are a little bit older. They didn't stick under the shingle very well because you can see that the tab is pretty far apart. If you look at this one here, the tab is pretty close, and this one here, you got pretty good gap there, right? You can see my eyeball through the gap. Where this one here, you can't, it's a lot tighter. So that is the difference between these here. Some of these, you can do this either way. It's actually quicker if you screw them on this way because you got to do it anyway. Or you can take both your hands, screw this on. You got to take both hands, and then you can just slide this over and then just slide it on the bulb, and then I've slid it too far, so then you got to move it back forward, and that's why it's just easier to bulb and clip as you go versus trying to clip it this way as you go here. So those are some clips that you can do. If you have OCD and you want them all to point out, right? You want them all to point out. So the gutter ones will get these here, the gutters, that'll make it go on the gutter. And then you got the shingle tabs here. And the way the shingle tabs work is they just slide under the shingle, and then you put your bulb and clip on here, so like so. And this way, it will make all the bulbs point out. Now, there's some people that will take the time and do this. There's some people that won't. So now this slides under the shingle, and now the lights are going to point out, and then these here will point out when you get these clips here. So I have these clips here. So now this clip is, now they're both pointing the same way. One's going on into the shingle, one's going on to the gutter, and now they're all pointing out. But when you'll notice is you if you know what you're looking at, you'll be able to tell, but most of the time you can't hardly tell the difference. Now, the other thing that I used to do is point these down. They used to point down, and it does look good if you do point them down. It'll shine on the house, and so it can make it look good, especially if you do color ones. Color ones look really good. Point it down on the house. So that is how those clips work. Now, there's another type of clip that if you don't like to listen to me, so I don't like to do windows. I don't like for you to do windows. There's way more money to be made in the roof line, reefs, pillars, and some ground lighting than trying to do around windows and doors. And I know windows and doors look amazing, but again, I can do up here on the top of the roof and encapsulate that, do some ground lights, and it will look way better than doing the windows. But some of you don't like to listen to me, and you will try to do windows because you think I'm telling you I'm crazy. But I'll just tell you, I talked to some people this weekend at the training this weekend, and they're like, I ain't ever doing windows. I'm like, I told you not to do them in the first place. I know, but that's something that you got to do. So there's a clip here that is a two-piece clip. It has this piece here it's got a little groove in it here, and it goes around here, and then you have the little ramp here that has 3M tape on it. So basically it just pops on there like so, and then you can screw this in there and then screw it into your bulb and clip. And what you can do is then you can take that red tape off, and you can tape these around the window. So that picture that I show, I don't know if I've got it in in my screen here or not. That picture that I show, that is that big job that we did downtown. That's what they used, is that there. But, you know, I even got this picture here of the windows, right? These are the windows. Now, he actually just took hot glue and hot glued the back of this. He took hot glue, put on there, and put it on there. And that's how he did all of these pictures here for this. Now, here's the deal about this house here. So this is only a $4,000 house, and it took him about a day and a half. And then when I came up there to do some pictures and video, let's see, this window had fallen off. Part of this here had fallen off on the side of the house here. This window up here had fallen off. And so that's the issue if we don't charge enough with these houses. Do they look amazing? Sure they do. But what if you would have done all the roof, maybe did this tree out here, this big tree here, right? There's other things that we can do besides those windows to make a lot more money than trying to deal with these windows. Because again, I know that some people want to do windows, and I'm just telling you, this here is an easier way to do your windows with these clips here. You can get these in white, and you can get them in different colors, so that way you can match the window frames. And when you do is most of the time, this will stick there, and this will come down, this will stay on the house. The one key to get these things to stick really good is make sure that you clean the window or the plastic wherever this is going on to. You got to get a good clean surface, because if you don't get the surface cleaned, it will fall off on you. So that's something that you have to think about as we are doing these Christmas lights and as we are doing this stuff here. Next thing you got is this stuff here is called socket wire, right? It has sockets automatically on here. So we were in class this week, and one of the guys there was from Nashville, Tennessee, Jacob, and he decided he was going to hang Christmas lights his very first year on his own house. And that's how he got into Christmas lights, is by starting his own Christmas, doing it on his own house. First he got the bids, and he's like, $3,000, there's no way I'm buying it for $3,000. So what he did is he went and bought the extension cord, bought the sockets, and put every socket on that cord for that house, because he didn't know that you could actually buy socket wire. So socket wire, yes, you can buy the socket wire. It comes in rolls of 1,000 feet. You can get it at you can get it in 6 inches. You can get it at 12 inches. You can get it at 15 inches. 24, 36, 18, 48 inches. And what that means is the distance from one socket to the other is 12 inches or 15 inches. So most houses use either 15 inch or 12 inch. And a lot of people have went to the 15 inch because the reason why you go to the 15 inch is every 100 feet, you only have to reach over the house 80 times. Yeah, you're going to save a little bit of money, but the big factor of it is you're not going to reach over that house 100 times. You're only going to reach over it 80 times. So it's less chances of falling off, and that's an important part of doing Christmas lights. So if you have any questions for Christmas lights, definitely put them down in the comments here, and I'll answer any of your questions that you may have. After I get done here, or if I see them pop up here, I will answer any of your questions that you may have for Christmas lights. But Christmas lights is definitely something that's very profitable. It's a lot of fun, and it is a lot of fun to do. So again, socket wire is 15, 12 different sizes. You do have some clips on here, so you can see the clip on there, this clip here. If you live very far up north and you get a lot of snow and that, I have seen people take this clip and not put a clip on it, just clip it like this. And you got your J channel that runs down your roof here. It runs all down your roof. It runs up your roof here, if I can figure out my finger here. And what you can do is just slide this up underneath there, and then the light is actually under the gutter. So then it's actually protected. And so then when you pull it down, it can come down that way. Just some people will do that. Not everybody will do that, but there is people that I know that will do that. So that is how we are able to do our socket wire, being that we do it. Next thing we have is we have males and females. So we got a male here or a female here. A male have prongs on it. And basically, this is how we make our own extension cords or our own cut wires for the house. And basically, all we do is we take the wire, and we want to make sure we got a good clean cut here. So my precision cuts are in the suitcase from when I got back from Portland, and I haven't gotten them out yet. But we want to get a good clean cut across here. If you got some just side cuts, a lot of times it'll leave wires, and then that's going to short out, and that's going to cause you problems. So that's why we don't want to do that. And then the other thing here is we have a female. Now this female is a slide through female because you can see that it's open on both ends. One thing that you want to do is inside there, it's got two metal prongs in there. You want to make sure that they're on the opposite sides of each other. If they're in line, it's a complete short at that point, and it will catch on fire. It will catch carpet on fire. It will make smoke come everywhere. It'll make people freak out. It'll make you have to open the windows and all kinds of crazy stuff. And how do I know that? Because I've seen it happen in my own personal life, and it wasn't a good day. And this is why you should use a GFCI protector whenever you're installing Christmas lights, so that way if something fails, it should trip that GFCI breaker. We were in an old building, and they don't have GFCIs in this old building, and that's why we about burnt the place down, because it didn't trip. It just caught on fire, and within a second, it was from, I believe, 20 feet down the carpet all the way to the socket before we could get it unplugged, before we had more issues than what we already had. So what you're going to do is normally this side has a plug in it, and so I'll just do it this way first, is you're just going to take this wire here, and you're going to plug it in to the socket here. You can see in there it's got a hole, and that's where we're actually going to put it in that hole, and we're just going to bend it over nicely, like so. We're going to bend it over nicely and just kind of push it in there, right? We're just going to push it in there. And then what we're going to do is we have this thing here. It has a cap on one end, so you can see that it's got like a door on that end and nothing on this end. And when we look at it this way, if I can get a good picture of it, it looks like it has a ramp coming up this way. So we're actually going to take the ramp and we're going to slide it on there. We're going to take the ramp and we're going to slide it up on there. And then we're just going to push this there, and it'll push that ramp's going to push down on that wire, and it's going to shove it into there. And that's our male or our female. We can put a male on this side, and we're done. That's how we light up lights. So it's as easy as that. Easy as that. So what's up? Mr. Tristan is in the house. If you didn't know Tristan, you should go follow Tristan. Tristan is a really cool guy. He's a young entrepreneur. He's 24 years old. He's going to do $500,000 this year. He just bought his second rental house. His goal is to have 5 rental properties by the end of this year. And, you know, he does it all by starting a pressure washing Christmas light business. And so these are things that you can do as a young entrepreneur. And so he does have his own YouTube channel. He has his own, he's got a TikTok channel. And so if you haven't been following him, you should follow him, because he's a really cool guy. And if you want to meet him, he comes to every Monday night marketing on our Zoom calls. And so what that is every Monday night we have a Zoom call for all the members that are members of ChristmasLights.io or members of King of Pressure Wash. And he is a member there, and he comes and asks lots of questions, and he learns, and he's growing. And that's the cool thing about Tristan. So Tristan is cool. And another cool guy that's in here, or was in here, I don't know if he still is Jason Hefner. If you didn't know, Jason Hefner is a guy he's a full-time fireman still, and he had his first $20,000 week this week. He should hit it. We're going to say that he's going to hit it. It's to make him hit it. We're going to speak life into hitting. I actually said 25,000. I told him he should shoot for 25,000 in 1 week. But the cool thing about Jason is he's one that he was one that he's taking action and making things happen. He did $250,000 part time, because as a full time firefighter, you work 56 hours a week. And you're only off, you only work 1 day a week, maybe 2, depending on it. But that means you only got 3 to 4 days to be able to do this. Plus, when you're work the buggy, that means that you're up all night and you're running. And so it's pretty cool to see him hit 250,000 last year, and this year his goal is 300,000. Mr. Tristan, Jason is the best. So with that, do you all got any questions about Christmas lights? I'm here to answer your question about Christmas lights. Like I said, I am going to be pushing some more permanent lighting. Permanent lighting, I think, is definitely going to be a really cool thing to get into. That way you can do lighting all year long. The profit is pretty well to be there. So it is definitely something that if you're thinking about doing, we are going to be having a permanent light classes coming up. We're also going to have an advanced class coming up. Myself and Paul Gardner and Dustin Howes is going to do a permanent or an advanced class in June 20. I think it's like the 20th and 22nd, or around that weekend there. And that way you'll learn advanced tactics of how to grow your business. And this is really targeted for the people that 100,000 trying to get to $1 million or 2 million or 3 million. And these are the people that this is targeted for. Great question, John. This is a question that will be answered at the advance, because we're actually going to have a guy come. Sean Day is going to come talk about recruitment. Would you recommend hiring employees or subcontractors? So here's the deal with this here, because the government has been kicking down on this a whole lot. And so if there is a definition of an employee and a subcontractor. If he's using your truck and he's using all your stuff and you're telling him what to do, that is an employee. That is not a subcontractor, right? That is an employee. I know sometimes we try to get away with it, but in the end, if he gets hurt, he's coming after, and you don't have workers' comp on him and he don't have workers' comp on him, you are going to be in trouble with it. They're going to sue you. They're going to sue the homeowner. They're going to sue everybody at that point. And so, a lot of times we try to do it as a subcontractor so we don't have to pay all the stuff along with it. We don't have to pay, workers' comp. We don't have to pay payroll tax. We don't have to pay all the other bull crap that comes along with it being hiring an employee. But in the end, if something happens, you're going to be way better off. Now, is it going to cost you more money? Sure it is. But as you learn and as you grow your business, you're going to find out the more you make, the more everybody puts their fingers in it and wants the money. So those are some things to think about. But honestly, you're better off doing an employee than subcontractors. Can you do subcontractors? Sure you can, but make sure they have insurance, make sure they have workers' comp, that you have a cover, that they're covering themselves with workers' comp. So that way, if something happens, they're covered and you're not liable at that point, because otherwise it's coming down on you otherwise. So that is definitely something that I would recommend doing an employee versus a subcontractor. What would you recommend paying an installer tech? I was all over the place last year. This is a great question Tristan's asking here, is how much do I pay? And so there's different ways to pay people, right? I know like Dustin, he does a couple thousand lights installs and they pay per foot, right? How many ever foot you put up, that's how much money you make. And so I think it's like $1 a foot or $2 a foot for the crew, and that's how they get paid, right? They get paid for that. You can also do $2, you can do $15 an hour for your ground guys, and 20 to 30 to 40 to $50, depending on how much do you want to make sure they show up. But on the other hand, just because you pay more doesn't mean they're going to show up, right? Sometimes that works the opposite, because then they make enough money, then they go drink for 2 or 3 days and don't show up. So that's why you got to be careful on how you pay people and how much you pay for them, right? I know a lot of times we think that everybody's motivated by money, but some people you motivate too much by money, and then the problems come is there. So now, and I know some people that pay very little for this. Like, I know people that pay their lead techs $18, $19 an hour, and that's it. And it's not much. So, but it's all in what you want to be at and how you can find somebody. But what I will tell you is, if you find you a rock star that shows up and does great work and can knock houses out, pay him, right? Give him bonuses, make him want to show up and do more, because he's worth it in the end. And also, what would you recommend to start? When would you start hiring? I would start looking in August and September, so that way you have people in October. If depending on, you have enough business out there now that you can start installing in October. So you need to start hiring and looking to hire in September and October, right? August, September, and October, because if they're working somewhere else and going to come work with you, they got to put a 2-week notice in, if anybody does that now. But right, those are things that you got to look at for when to hire these people. Mr. Sean, where is this going to take place in June? This is going to take place somewhere in Salt Lake City, probably. Salt Lake City. So I know that Paul Gardner has some people that he's going to bring into this and talk about pretty heavy stuff, like pretty deep stuff is what they're going to be talking about. Would you recommend including the takedown cost in the initial quote, or make separate quote for takedown? We are going to quote it either one of two ways. We're either going to quote it as, $8 to $12 a foot, and that includes the takedown. Or I do know people that will put a takedown cost in there. So they'll put the, $75, $150, $200 for takedown. You get it up front. But the nice thing about that is that is also something that you can negotiate. If somebody's like, man, that's just too much. Well, here, man, we'll take off the takedown fee for you. So now, that's $175 off. And that's a lot of times, right, that will make you close that sale more likely by doing it that way. So there's two ways to do it, right? You can do it with you don't want to do it at takedown, because you're not going to get your money at takedown. So that's why you want to do it up front. Especially if you're doing the lease model, you want to, you're going to get it all up front. Never have typed in chat. Been watching all of your lives for the last 5 months and just wanted to say thank you. Was able to do $13,000 my first month with my pressure washing business. That is awesome. Hey, that's a high five right there, right? I don't know if it's working or not, but that's a high five right there. $13,000 my first month. As I was talking about Jason Hefner, once you hit that $10,000 month, he's never made less than that. So it's a big target to get of the $10,000 a month. Would you recommend an office lady to answer the phone? I want this completely automated this year. I would recommend someone to do the office work, and that's answering the phone. And that's also making sure, the other thing that they're doing is getting quotes out. That's a hard job to do, is getting quotes out. And the other thing too is if they're good enough, right, and they're a go-getter, they can also help you make sure you're getting your money. So they can be collecting money, calling people for money. They can be calling people back. And so, yes, a office person would definitely help you answering the phone. So that way you're able to focus on getting other things done. You can focus on running crews. You can make sure that you have everything. And you're not getting disrupted every 2 seconds of a phone call. And yes, there is times that you will get enough Christmas light business calling you. I know people that get 100, 200, 300 leads in a day. So you got to be able to cipher through these suckers and figure out what is good, what is not, and start sending quotes out to the ones that you pre-qualify. So those are definitely some things that you got to look at as we are growing this business. And it is probably one of the hardest things to do as we get lead flow coming in, of making sure that we're getting quotes out, because the faster you quit the quote out, the faster and the better chance that you have to close that customer. Because when they call you and they're asking for a customer, they're hot. And this is an emotional buy. And so the longer it takes for them to get the quote, the colder that lead is getting. And so if you can get that quote out within, 20, 30, an hour, 2 hours, it helps you out a bunch. Now, what I will say is permanent lighting and Christmas lights is two different keys. So with Christmas lights, I do teach you to do online quotes, and that's what most people do, is online quotes. There is a few that try to do in-person quotes, but most people do online quotes. Again, it's an emotional buy. They want it now. We're going to give it to them now, and that way they can do it. What I will say, is if you are going to do permanent lighting is in-person quoting. You're not going to get it online as easy. You're going to have to go in person to do that, and just because you're building that relationship. And a Christmas light bid, you're looking at $2,000 to $3,000. A permanent light bid, you're looking at $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. So that's the difference of it. What are some good ways to go about getting commercial lighting jobs this summer? Flip rocks. What do I mean by flip rocks? Go knock on doors and talk to people, right? Networking is probably the best way that you can get commercial lighting. If people know who you are, that will help you to get commercial lighting out a whole bunch by people knowing who you are. The second way to get commercial lighting is with your Google My Business, right? That's a good way. But LinkedIn. LinkedIn is definitely a powerhouse to get it. And then the third way to get commercial work is email marketing. Going in email marketing, property managers, HOAs. There's people that manage HOAs. And so when you can find those people, that is how you're able to get the commercial work. The other thing for commercial work is on the go door knocking, of the knocking and asking. You're looking at your little doctor's office, dentist offices that aren't big. They're just like a mom and pop that you're able to try to get those out for your commercial lighting stuff. What would you pay the office lady? Whatever. 15, 20, but it depends on their experience, right? If they're experienced and they can talk well on the phone and all of that, I would probably start them out around $18 an hour, $20 an hour. It just depends, right? It depends on your area. It depends on everything. Right now you can go to McDonald's and make $20 an hour, which is stupid. But it depends on your cost of living where you are. That's what it really depends on. What's up, Mr. Arties? How are you doing, sir? We are slammed right now. That is awesome. We love being slammed. That means you're making money, right? And this is the time to make money. If you didn't know and you're in the pressure washing business, this is the time to make money. And if you're into permanent lighting, this is the time that you can do permanent lighting also. So definitely that's awesome for you. And yes, signs work. Sign works amazing. Signs are one that you would never think they could do as well, but you can't give me another marketing avenue that works as good as signs across any area, right? I can put out signs almost anywhere and get business. Now, there might be some places that they're going to pull them up, but signs just work. I don't know how they work so well, but they work. It is one of the best things that, like I said, I know 2 years ago, Facebook did amazing. Before that, Google did amazing. The last 2 years, Google has went. Last year, Facebook did for a lot of people. There was some that Facebook worked for, but most people I knew, Facebook didn't do as good as the year before's. It kind of went downhill. And so, there is different things you can do. And I know there's the branding and all of this other stuff, but in the end, it's how do you go out there and get it and make it happen, right? That's what you got to do. I've booked $14,000 worth of work the past 2 months on signs alone, and that's what I mean. $14,000 of work the past 2 months on signs alone, just a stupid yard sign, right? Just a stupid yard sign. This one says Christmas lights, right? Christmas light pro installer and a large phone number. It ain't got nothing special on it. It ain't got nothing, it ain't got no logos on it. It ain't got none of that stuff. And I know he's talking about pressure washing, but you can do the same thing with this here. Now, one thing I will say about Facebook is I didn't mention it, but Facebook groups. You can do okay in Facebook groups, especially the mom groups. If you can get into mom groups, Facebook groups, mom groups work the best out of any other group out there. You just got to identify as a mom is all you got to do. So it's not as easy as it sounds, but that's what you got to do. Facebook is my way arm guy in front of the Carla. What? Facebook is that wavy arm guy in the front of the Carla. I got you. The way I was like waving at you, right? And those are things of, and one thing I will say about branding and different things is with Christmas lights, you just got to have fun with it. Christmas lights are fun, right? Have fun with it from the very beginning. Like, have fun when you answer the phone of, hey, this is Santa's elves, whatever. I don't care. Just find something and have fun with it. And if you miss the phone call, it's Santa answering the phone call, right? It's how do you have fun with this? When you have fun with it and you show up and you have Christmas light or Christmas music rocking on it, and you have your trailer all lit up and strobing every which way and doing all kinds of crazy things, and you got the big elf guy blowing around, and you maybe have a person standing out there waving, right? People will know who you are. You have your outfit on. Maybe you have a whole elf outfit on. I don't know, whole Santa Claus outfit, something. Have fun with it. This is something that you can have fun with, and people will be like, I want to use you because you're fun. And I guarantee you, your reviews will be amazing. The one thing that worked for Tristan, and I love it, is the light, having them turn on the lights and getting that video of it, right? And if you're out there having fun with it and you're all excited with the kids and jumping up and down, I know it sounds stupid, but I promise you, you cannot put a price on that kid jumping up and down, how excited he is to see those Christmas lights. It is one of the best things that you'll ever do, and it's the best price, whether you get paid or not for it. I mean, it's just honey to the soul, right? And so that's definitely something that what you want to do. That's how you want to do it. Where can you find people to put out signs? So actually, we were at class in Portland. Here's the deal, guys. When you come to my classes, it's pretty cool because you don't know who you're going to be there. Like, I went to the landscape or this class last week, and I probably met the dude that makes the most money doing Christmas lights. One of the top dudes that do the most Christmas lights in the country. That was at the permanent lighting class. So you never know who you're going to meet. But going back to this here is, when I was in Portland, there was a guy that he just put an ad out on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. I don't know where he put it out. Hey, I need some high school students or anybody that's looking to make money to be a driver. That's all he put it. And then he pays them to go put out yard signs. And he paid $1 a sign, and he had 700 yard signs put out. He paid $700 to put out 700 signs. So that's how he got it, right? It's just find and meet, you never know who you can network with. And that's the cool thing about whether you come to my class or you go to another class, networking is definitely very cool for you to keep growing your business. And it's the little things that you may not even know. I'm making my yard signs to take them out tonight. I'm just got my signs, 100 of pressure washing, 100 of window cleaning. When should I start quoting commercial jobs? So the thing about commercial jobs is a lot of times they're a lot earlier than the rest thing, because if they got to go up corporate and all that other crap, they got to get approved. So I would start working on that now. So I have Daniel. I haven't seen Daniel in here. He did call me today. Daniel did 179,000 or 175,000 last year, and he's already got 87% of those closed for next year, and he's already added like over $100,000 or $150,000 of commercial work already in 2024. And so you got to start working on that now, so that way you're able to get keep people going. I love that I get paid to play with Christmas lights, and they're so much fun, right? Armando was there at the training, and meeting a guy like him, the experience he has, and talking about customer service, right? Customer service is the number one thing that's going to grow your business. Customer service is going to be the best thing you're ever going to do to get commercial quotes and commercial lighting. So it's definitely something that's a lot of fun. You got to have the mentality that you don't have to work, rather you get to work. We have a blast right now, and that's right? It's fun. I love, it is a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun. I love Christmas lights. I love Christmas lights, right? I love, and I know people on the permanent lighting side of, they call it shouldn't be called permanent lighting and shouldn't be called Christmas lights. The reason why I call it permanent Christmas lights, I'll tell you a secret here. You want to know why I call it permanent Christmas lights? Because what do you think people Google when they're trying to find Christmas lights like we sell for the permanent lighting? They don't type in permanent lighting. They don't type in any of that stuff. You know what they type in? Permanent Christmas lights. That's what they type in. So guess what? I'm going to put my name of my business, or I am going to push permanent Christmas lights, because guess what? That's what people know them as. When I look at search terms, I see permanent Christmas lights come up way more than permanent lighting, right? And so that's why you got to think about, what are people searching for? The reason, now, I will tell you that if you live in certain parts of the country, Christmas lights aren't coming up very often, right? If your state is a little bit or a whole lot of blue, it's not coming up as Christmas lights. It's going to come up as holiday lighting, because heaven forbid we say Christmas lights. So that's something to think about depending on where you are. If you're in California, you're not calling them Christmas lights, you're calling them holiday lighting. But that's just because that are those types of people over there. Do you recommend using hot glue for windows and garage doors? And the answer would be hell no, I don't. As I said earlier, there's way more money to make in this up here than this down here. And I do not recommend using glue at all. It is not something that I recommend. It is definitely something that is going to be a pain in your butt. You're going to have callbacks. You're going to have all kinds of stuff. So, like I said, you can make a lot more money doing columns, doing a reef, doing this. You can do the top of it up here. The glue, I'm not a fan of it. Permanent LED Christmas lights was on my sign last year, and I'm still getting calls, right? Because people know what that is. People know what permanent Christmas lights are. I'm really I haven't started it yet, but I want to start a Christmas or a permanent lighting business, and my signs are going to say permanent Christmas lights, because I'm going to my signs are going to say all kinds of things, because I'm going to test, because the best way to know is to test. If you don't test, you don't know what's the best, because holiday lighting might get better stuff in there. You might be in California and get better with Christmas lights. And so that's why it's important that we test. And you can get you a phone number for one and a phone number for the other one, so you can track how am I getting called, right? Am I getting called because they're calling this number or because they're calling that number? And so those are some things that you have to think about and to see, because just because you think something works, a lot of times in marketing, just because you think it works that way may not be the best avenue that you're getting customers, right? I can show you data that, a lot of people will get a lot more customers off of Google, but their close rate might be half of everything else, and their average ticket is half of everything else. So yes, I might be getting a lot off of Google, but is that my best avenue? And if you don't look at the data and analyze how you're getting stuff, and if you don't track stuff, you will never know what money lever do you need to keep throwing more money into. I'll tell you right now, one of your best money levers that most people don't hit at all is this one right here. Referrals, right? Referrals will have the highest close rate. 9 times out of 10, they'll have the highest close rate, and they'll have the highest average ticket from a referral, right? So this is why a lot of people don't put nothing into referrals. I would give, for Christmas lights, I'll give $100, $200 for a referral, right? Permanent lighting, I'll give $250 for a referral. I'll make sure you go eat at a nice restaurant or something, because I know what it costed me, and I also know what it is to get it, right? And so this is definitely something that a lot of people don't push on, and they don't do the referrals. And I want you to do the referrals, because the referrals are definitely a way to make you money that doesn't even cost you a whole lot. Answer your phone. Only because I got my big first job of window cleaning at a fire department for $5,000 each time, twice a year. Answering your phone is the easiest thing to do. Actually, it's the hardest thing you'll ever do, but it's the most important thing that you do, right? Answering the phone is back to customer service. What's the best way to install on windows and garages? Don't. That's the best way to do it. There's a lot of other things that you can do on it. If you are going to install on that stuff, you're going to use that brown clip that I had somewhere here, whatever I did with it, right here. This is your best clip that you're going to want to use for that. It slides over the light, and then it clips on there. If you go to christmaslights.com.io/lights, all of those clips are in there. Every clip that I put on there is at christmaslights.lights or L, either which way. And this is a permanent light job here. So this is one of the permanent light jobs, and you can get permanent lighting here. I just put up a page about packages. The starter packages are the best way to go. It has all your males, your females, it has all your clips, it has everything that you need. It's simple. It's just to click a button and buy it, versus being like, let's see, I need how many feet do I need for 1,000? I have 1,000-foot spool of C9 15-inch. How many bulbs do I need, right? Well, you only need 800 bulbs, so you only get 800 bulbs, and I get you your 1,000 feet. So that's what I would tell you about here. I also have these clips on that site too, christmaslights.io/L. You can go there and buy the clips. You can buy the bulbs. You can buy the starter packs. You can buy permanent lighting. And yes, I'm probably going to be talking a lot about permanent lighting because I'm going to be putting it up. I've got bunches of videos of it. I'm going to be doing trainings of it, all kinds of cool stuff with the permanent lighting. Say they tried 2 companies, nobody answers. And that's the sad part of it is these people out here, and some of you might be on the other side of this screen, you pay thousands of dollars in marketing, and then you don't even answer your phone, right? And that's you're losing money. Every time you don't answer the phone, just think of that as $500, and it's probably really close to $500. Even if it's $300, every time you don't answer the phone is $300. So just think about when that phone rings and you click the button, $300. You just pissed away $300, right? Because that's the way it works. Because if you think they're going to leave a message and you think they're going to call you back, or you're going to call them back. Well, you're going to call them back, and they already got their bid, and they're already ready to buy because they already got their bid and they done put their deposit down and everything. So don't even worry about calling them back. So that's why it's important that you make sure that you answer your phone. Because here's the other thing: if you don't answer your phone, in my mind, if I have a problem, are you going to answer your phone? No, because you didn't answer it when I was trying to get through it when I didn't have a problem. When I was trying to give you money, you still didn't answer your phone. So make sure you answer your phone. It is the most important thing that you can do is answer your phone. Answering your phone is very easy. All you do is you take a deep breath, smile, and say, "Hello, this is Jason Helper, Santa's Helper, however you want to say it, with ChristmasLights.io. How can I make your holiday bright this year?" Right? Have fun with it. Don't be like, "Hello, this is Jason." Actually, I've heard some people answer it this way, "Hello," and they're like, "Do you do Christmas lights?" "Yep, we do." Well, does that sound like fun and exciting? No, it doesn't sound fun and exciting. Did you know that if you smile, people can see it on the other side of the phone? So smile. It's proven over and over and over. Smile and have an amazing smile. I don't care if you got to fake that smile for a day. You fake that smile, right? Because it's going to make you better. It's going to make the conversation positive. It's going to make everything better by you smiling and being positive. So that's why you got to be positive. You got to smile. You got to answer the phone and make it happen. But again, if you need Christmas lights, you can go check out ChristmasLights.io/L. I do have some in-person training coming up. You can go to ChristmasLights.io and you'll find in-person training up there at the top. I don't know where it went down here. What's this one? Nope, that's not it. I don't even know what that is. That's a job that I did. But yes, you can. I do have some Christmas light classes coming up. I'll have some in-person classes coming up. I'm going to have permanent lighting classes coming up. So definitely check that stuff out. We got an advanced class coming, so the advanced is going to be awesome. It's going to have, the third day is going to be permanent lighting, but the first 2 days is going to be how to grow your business, how to go from 100,000 to $1 million. Or how to get the systems in place, how to do all of those things, how to go from 100,000 to 10 million, $500,000 to 10 million, right? That's what we're going to teach. Paul Gardner, he owns a $12 million business, right? Or more. And so that you're able to learn from these people. When you get in a room with these people that are doing 10, 12, $15 million, I promise you, you're going to learn something. They're going to speak into your life. I've heard Paul speak into several people's lives over the year and watch them blossom from it. One of my first ones was first time I met Paul. He spoke into a young 22-year-old kid, and now he's doing like $500,000-$600,000 a year, and that was 3 years ago. And so it's amazing when you see people do things like that and talk into people's lives, and that is, I want to be able to talk into your life also. I'm talking to you all the time, but I hope you just all listen and take action. Because if we don't take action, and you got to have a vision. What do you want to be? Do you believe that you can do $500,000? Do you believe you can do $1 million? Because if you don't believe it, it ain't going to happen. That's the way it it is a lot about mindset at the end of the day. So other than that, I hope you all have an amazing week. And again, I am having a pressure washing class this Saturday or Friday and Saturday here in my area by the Cincinnati airport. So if you're going to be there, I'll see you. But other than that, I hope you all have an awesome night, and we'll talk at y'all later.